Yo, what is up, guys? This is Antoine Jameson. Just coming to you today with like a new type of series coming around. I kind of wanted to do a series on uniform history. Hopefully I'll be able to go through like a lot of teams, or maybe all of them if that's possible. But I'm starting this in like 2015, so if you're watching this in a couple years later and there's been like other Charlotte Hornets jerseys come out, I won't be able to like pick them up. But yeah, I just wanted to give a rundown of the Charlotte Hornets jerseys and their entire history. So Charlotte became a franchise in 1988, and there had been like basketball teams in Charlotte before, but they weren't ever in the NBA. So when the team was brought in 1988, they didn't have anything really. They only had the Charlotte Coliseum. They didn't have a team name. They didn't have pretty much anything. The creator of the uniforms and the logo, his name was Alexander Julian. He's a Chapel Hill native. He also designed the UNC basketball jerseys, which were a huge hit. And he was the inventor of the Argyle in the UNC jerseys. The Argyle in that looked like a lot of people were like, oh, that's just a play on like the Four Corners play in the NBA, or it's like a play on Irish heritage in North Carolina. But Julian just thought it was timeless, and Michael Jordan, of all people, actually loved it, which was like kind of the catalyst of it being as big as it is today, really. So he was hired by the Hornets to design these without a name for the team yet. The only thing they really had was the Charlotte Coliseum, which had a hint of like teal green. He was told to use that like type of teal green, but he was pretty much known for this combination, and the combination was the purple and teal that a lot of people are like used to today. The reason he loved it was because it looked flattering on anyone, no matter the skin tone, which is what he pretty much said. He saw that the teal green wasn't exactly the color that he wanted to use, so he like contacted the people who like told him to make the jerseys. It was like, hey, listen, I'm making these jerseys for you. Why don't I just use the color that I'm used to and hopefully make a really good design out of it? And they said, yeah, that's fine. The interesting thing about the Charlotte Hornets jerseys is, one, it was the first jersey in NBA history to feature pinstripes, which was a huge hit. Tons of teams started like picking up on that. The Bulls included, also the Magic. Another thing is, it was one of the first teams, I don't know if it was the catalyst, but it was one of the first teams to have Charlotte on the front of each jersey, which the home and the away. And that was because the jerseys were pretty much designed while the name was still being picked. They ended up going with the Hornets through a fan vote. He actually created the original logo. The logo that he created was put onto the neck of the shorts. And on the jersey, he featured a V-neck, a lot like UNC's jerseys at the time, the same ones that he designed, and he put pinstripes on the jersey, like I said before. The thing with his original design was they actually had baggy shorts. Not like extremely baggy, but they were still more baggy than current NBA jerseys. And Kelly Tripucka, the actual first Charlotte Hornets like draft pick, I think he was the first draft pick. I could be wrong, but him and some of his teammates actually took the shorts to a tailor to get them shorter, a lot like the rest of the league. When Julian actually saw that, he actually kind of was like mortified, because he was like, that's not my design, like I wanted him to be long, but obviously they ended up keeping the short shorts. The funny thing about Julian, actually, though, is he didn't really want to be paid, but he wanted a share of the replica jerseys sold. He ended up not getting that, and he was actually kind of upset because he thought he could get like six figures out of the deal. But for the pay for like designing the jerseys and stuff like that, he wanted 5 pounds of Carolina barbecue a month to be FedExed to him in Connecticut. I don't know exactly like how long that deal like lasted, but that's extremely interesting to me. He didn't want to be paid. He just wanted like 5 pounds of Carolina barbecue, which is delicious barbecue. Now, the pinstripes, a lot of people are like really confused because like the pinstripe colors don't really make sense. You have green, blue, purple, white, and teal. The green actually at the time was for the UNC Charlotte 49ers, and the blue was for UNC. The purple, teal, and white were just for the Hornets. A lot of people don't really know why there's green included. It's not even on their palette at all, but it was pretty much for, you know, just the Charlotte 49ers, just to like to talk about like the entire like Charlotte area. There was actually a purple version of this jersey added in 1994, and it stayed for the rest of the seasons with this jersey. It's not one of the most like popular Charlotte Hornets jerseys. If you look at them up, that you're only going to get the teal and white ones pretty much. Other teams added a lot of third jerseys in 1994 and next season. Most likely they were added due to like the popularity of jerseys in like the start of the 90s, like going into the end. I tried looking up like the sales and stuff like that, and the sales figures, and like the license history actually. And in 1994, there wasn't actually any changes, which is weird because in 1998, Champion became the sole provider of replica jerseys, and I thought it would have been because of the Champion jerseys being like extremely popular at the time, but it was actually just, I feel like the NBA told a bunch of teams to add like third jerseys in during the season. In 1997-1998, the Charlotte Hornets jerseys actually were changed up a little bit. Not much, but they were changed. Hugo was moved from the front of the shorts down to the bottom leg. They got side panels down from the armpit to the bottom of the leg, and there was actually added double pinstripes. I couldn't really find like why they did this. I looked it up. The only thing I found was a comment on uniwatch.com, I believe, and it said the double pinstripes represent the second decade in Hornets basketball history, which makes sense because like they came in 1988 and 1988, and this was like 1997, 1998. Apparently Alexander Julian consulted on this design as well, but his designs were like way too complicated to fabricate. So this was created. I guess he wanted like a more modern approach. He wanted a different type of jersey for this, and they ended up just going with this, with the regular Charlotte jerseys, double pinstripes with panels down the side. They ended up staying with just these two threads for the rest of their time in Charlotte from 1997 to 2002. They didn't add in a secondary purple jersey. They didn't have any like, back then there wasn't really any like throwback nights or anything like that. So they just rolled with those two jerseys for 5 or 6 years until Charlotte actually left for New Orleans. Pretty interesting because normally teams had a lot of like third jerseys, like a lot of teams added in a third jersey in 1994, 1995, and Charlotte kind of just used that purple one for a couple seasons and then just ended with just two threads. So in 2002, the Baron Davis age, that crazy time in Charlotte history, we actually got moved to New Orleans, and that was a crazy time, but Charlotte really wanted a basketball team put back into Charlotte. In 2004, the Charlotte Bobcats actually became a team. In 2003, it was obviously talked about and stuff like that. But the Charlotte Bobcats history is like kind of interesting to me. The name and uniform was designed by just a team called Game Plan Creative. And they came up with the Charlotte Flight and the Charlotte Dragons. Two of those teams, I think it was voted on by the public. Both of those would actually have been awesome team names. Charlotte Flight, that would have been the coolest thing I've ever heard. But the Bobcats' original owner, Robert Johnson, obviously had the biggest stake in the name and stuff like that, and he named them the Bobcats. His name's Robert Johnson. He named them the Bobcats. One of the worst people in Charlotte basketball history. So the color of the jersey was obviously orange, dark blue, black, white. The black kind of was just an accent, but this was a weird color because no other NBA teams had like this reddish orange, or just orange for anything. I think the only team in NBA history with an orange jersey was, I think, Cleveland in the mid 80s or something like that, and the Spirits of St. Louis. I personally don't know any other teams that wore like orange as a prominent color. David Stern at the time thought that orange was going to be a big color in the NBA whenever Charlotte created their jerseys at the time. The reason why orange was such a prominent color in this was because, one, Charlotte Bobcats wanted to be the Charlotte Hornets were brought upon. It was a complete global brand. You could go to China, kids will be wearing Charlotte Hornets purple and teal. They wanted orange and dark blue to be like that, purple and teal. Obviously, things change, and now we think back at it and that was the ugliest color, but at the time they thought it was going to expand. Also, another reason was because Robert Johnson, again, he went to the University of Illinois and did post-grad work at Princeton. Both of those schools' primary colors are orange. And obviously, again, he had a huge stake in the team, and whatever he says goes, really. One cool thing about these jerseys, though, is the side panels. If you haven't noticed, there's it's like diamond shapes, kind of. You got the dark blue at the top, you got black, and then you got either white or orange, depends on home or away. The reason they have those side panels gave a lot of airflow to the player because of like the gray stripes between. It would keep the jersey connected, and it would just give a lot of airflow, and it was a cool design. One thing that is so prominent about these jerseys, that if you saw the Bobcats play up until like 2009 or so, you probably were like, wow, why are those jerseys so shiny? And that was because of the Reebok Play Dry technology. There's a lot of jerseys that had this certain technology at the time. It was like the Golden State Warriors. Those two teams are the ones that I like kind of see the most. I know for the fact like Cleveland Cavaliers had it as well, but it really, in my opinion, it hindered the look of the jerseys on the court. They wanted orange and dark blue to be like a prominent color. If it had the current like Rev 30 type of detailing on it, I feel like that could have happened. But because of that, they were just so shiny. You're watching it from the TV, or you're at the game. You're like, man, like I can't even see, you know. In 2006, a dark blue jersey was introduced that was the same exact like palette as the white and orange. The reason they added this was because like UNC is like a light blue, the Carolina blue obviously, Duke is the dark blue or just royal blue, and they wanted another color in there that was like blue, and it would touch with the region, like everyone wanted to recognize it and become affiliated with that like dark blue. And that was their main goal. They also wanted to like make orange like a secondary color in around like 2008 or so, and ended up changing that in like 2010. But if you look at the jerseys, orange was brightened like in 2008 from the reddish orange to just regular orange. And in 2008 and 2009, a racing stripe alternate was added to the rotation to cater to the NASCAR fans in Charlotte. If you've ever seen those jerseys with the black and white like checkerboard, those were added because they wanted to cater to Charlotte fans. Also, Charlotte was selected to have a Green Week jersey to promote a green earth and to recycle. These jerseys also had the Reebok like dry fit technology, and if you look at them, they're still shiny, but they're not as shiny just because of the color, which goes back to my main point. I think the orange could have worked if the jersey wasn't so shiny, because the green shiny, it looks good. Like the Charlotte looks good, the side panels look good. But yeah, in 2009, they decided to change the jerseys up again. They modernized the jersey a little bit, and this is when orange was eliminated as a primary color. The jerseys changed, they added pinstripes to the current design and modernized the font. This, in my opinion, I feel like this was probably brought about because Reebok's lost its licensing to the Bobcats in 2007, and it was given to Adidas. And one of the main focuses on the jerseys were the actual shiny fabric. So Adidas had shiny fabric a little bit in 2009, but it wasn't as shiny, and I feel like a lot of people in the Charlotte Bobcats like circle were like, okay, we need to probably change up these jerseys, maybe give us pinstripes back to bring back the Charlotte Hornets history, because at the time, the New Orleans Hornets, now the Pelicans, actually eliminated the pinstripes. So they probably brought them back just because of that. Like I said before, orange was eliminated from primary color and only became an accent color. They kept the NASCAR jerseys with a new design in 2010, but were actually eliminated after that. And in 2012, there was a Carolina Cougars jersey worn, and it was only used on Hardwood Classics nights, so they would play against another team that had like a throwback like ABA jersey. So yeah, and also I found this picture online of DJ Augustine with a black Charlotte Hornets alternate, and I looked around for a long time figuring out if this was real, like maybe they wore these in the preseason, like one game or something like that. But I found the original picture, and these actually were just modified from a fan, but I think they look pretty decent, to be honest. I really like the gray on the shorts, and those shoes match with that jersey pretty much perfectly. So I just thought that was interesting, and I kind of wanted to show you guys, but those jerseys aren't real. In 2012, the jerseys changed again. thanks to Michael Jordan becoming a majority owner in 2010. When Jordan became majority owner, he pretty much said he wanted to have orange become an actual accent color, like barely have it on the jerseys at all, light blue and gray becoming secondary colors, and the dark blue becoming the most prominent color on the jerseys. This pretty much got rid of Bob Johnson's like entire legacy on the team. The Bobcats home jersey actually just said Cats. It didn't even say Bobcats. This was the first time in Bobcats history that they thought they were set for a while and didn't want any changes and were finally tied to the roots of the city, if you think about it. This was when the team actually picked up Al Jefferson, and the team was going back from the losing culture that the Charlotte Bobcats had and were actually starting to win. In 2014, the Hornets name was available to be taken again. New Orleans changed their name to the Pelicans. There was no team with the Hornets logo or name or anything. Hornets jumped on that as soon as they could. There was one season without a Hornets team in NBA history, and it was 2013. The Hornets jumped on that, and they began designing jerseys. They had a white home, a purple away, and a teal alternate. These are their current threads right now, so if you obviously watch the Charlotte Hornets, you know exactly what jersey I'm talking about. The reason they use teal as the alternates, though, because back in the day, the teal was obviously the away jerseys. They wanted to do this to please fans. Teal, back in the day, nobody really had a purple Hornets jersey. Everyone had teal. And with using the teal as alternate, this gave the ability to use them at home, because teal is actually kind of a home color. It's a lot lighter than purple, obviously. And there's a certain palette that the NBA can use, like the Lakers use yellow at home. I know there's a few other options of this. I think the Suns use the orange at home a lot. But yeah, that was the reason why they used purple as the away and teal as the alternate. They eliminated pinstripes on the front, but they put them on the sides of the jerseys. A lot of people were upset because there was no pinstripes on these jerseys. But the siding pinstripes included purple, teal, cool gray, and Carolina blue. The Carolina blue obviously was for Carolina, and the gray was obviously just used as an accent color. But these were the first jerseys in NBA history to show the NBA logo on the back above the name. If you didn't know, in 2014-2015, that was the first season that the NBA logo was put onto the back above, and it was replacing a lot of secondary logos that were put there. The Charlotte Hornets were the first jerseys that actually showed that off. If you look, those jerseys were revealed, then it was revealed that the NBA logo was going to move to the back to make room for advertisements, which kind of sucked. But the Charlotte Hornets they're already pretty much said the only advertisement they're going to have on the jersey is a Jordan logo, which is going to be really awesome. So I'm really happy that Michael Jordan owns the Charlotte Hornets, because those jerseys probably won't change their sick designs. In 2015, there was one more jersey added, and it was the Pride uniform, and these are the Buzz City alternates. It's the first sleeved uniform in Charlotte history and the first black uniform in Charlotte history. The reason it says Buzz City is because Hornets go Buzz. That's pretty much the only reason. It's the Hornet City, Buzz City. But that's been it for the Charlotte basketball jersey uniform history. I just kind of wanted to make this video because it's not really documented well, where the jerseys, what type of jerseys are made. And if you're looking forward to more of these, definitely subscribe, maybe like the video. Leave a comment down below if you want to see a certain team, because I'm planning on going through a lot and just doing pretty much exactly what I've done before, just talk about every single jersey that was in that history and all that. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.